It's no secret that on this channel, I have been testing a lot of different ways to use my phone less and less. This is the latest iteration of that. This is an iPhone SE, the original one from 2016. I love this phone. I've downgraded to this phone in the past and I've really enjoyed it. I've done it for months at a time. But, you know, every single time I have downgraded to this phone, I feel like I've gone back because the screen is too small, or I break this phone, the screen breaks and it becomes unusable. So I'm hoping this time I can keep the screen not broken and I can use this for long term. For at least a couple months. I know that Apple will be ending support for this phone. It's a weird thing because with regards to YouTube, I tell people not to upgrade phones. That's my whole shtick. That's my whole thing. I say don't upgrade phones. You don't need to. It's expensive. There's a lot of other reasons behind it, but you just don't need to do it. And then I went ahead and got an iPhone 13 Pro, I think. I've explained that multiple times. I had an iPhone 11 that they offered to upgrade for free to an iPhone 13. You got $800 of credit, and then you got another $179 of credit for the trade-in value. So I only had to pay $21 for the iPhone 13 Pro. But I understand a lot of people see that and say he's got an iPhone 13 Pro, he's telling me not to upgrade, so why should I listen to him? And I hear that and I totally respect that because I would probably feel the same way. The same reason I don't have sponsors on this channel, never have, never will. 5 years going strong. Not that I'm that big, but I have been offered and I've always said no thank you, or I just don't respond. So in an attempt to feel like I'm not contradicting myself at every single possible turn, I'm downgrading back down to this phone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro sitting in a drawer untouched, and it will be untouched for a week. This is my first day of using this phone and I want to go over my initial thoughts and how enjoyable it's been so far. So if you've been following this saga a little bit, you know I tried the Apple Watch. That really wasn't quite enough for me. I tried the flip phone. There were a lot of positives with that I really enjoyed, but there were still a few things missing. And then I tried the iPhone 4 and that just really wasn't working for me at all. Like the phone basically didn't work. So this is an iPhone SE. This is still supported currently under Apple's iOS 15, but that is the last version of iOS that will be supported by this phone, unfortunately. I'm pretty sad about that. I was hoping they'd get one more year of support, but I kind of understand this phone is, 6 years old. You can definitely respect Apple for treating their customers who buy their phones pretty well. I know Android doesn't do that, so 0.1 for Apple if you're counting. And after the first day of using it, I used my phone for 22 minutes today. That's it. I used this phone for 22 minutes. My entire day, 24 hours minus 8 for sleeping, 22 of it went to this phone. When was the last time a lot of you out there could say you only spent 22 minutes on a phone? I don't know if I've ever spent that little amount of time on a smartphone before, but I also didn't have any problems with it, which is pretty remarkable. iMessaging worked really well. It connected to my watch, so when I go on runs, I can still track that. This phone is also quite small. I mean, it's smaller than the size of my hand, and it's exceptionally light. So going on runs with this phone is actually something I'm probably going to be doing because I've always felt like the phone's GPS and cellular is a lot more accurate than my Apple Watch is. This phone, I don't want to say that it's the perfect phone too early because I know the camera sucks and it gets really hot sometimes and I'm not sure why, but it gets remarkably warm and I'm not doing anything with it. It'll just be sitting on the counter and then I'll go grab it and it'll be like hot. So the battery life has sucked because I don't know what it's doing in the background, but it's doing something and it's demanding a lot of power because it gets really warm. But other than those few little nitpicks, this thing has been awesome. The front-facing camera kind of blows. I don't take any selfies though. I always use the back camera and I film like this. I need to film my family. That's the only thing. This camera isn't that bad. I believe it's the iPhone 7 or iPhone 6s Plus's camera, so it's a pretty good camera system. The front camera stinks, but the back camera is actually pretty good. And overall, I've really enjoyed not using this phone because I haven't been using it at all. I do feel like I was on technology a little bit today, but I was on my computer. When I'm on my computer, I'm always productive, whether it's working on something for YouTube or if it's working on my wife's business, the CNC business, and the thing that her and I work on together, or if it's just any number of different productivity-based things. Every time I'm on my laptop, I'm definitely significantly more productive than when I'm on my phone. And 22 minutes is 22 minutes. I mean, that is remarkable. If I was under 30 minutes for the rest of my life on my phone, I guarantee you I'd be happy. I guarantee you if everybody was on their phone for less than 30 minutes a day, they would be extremely happy. So I am going to do a much larger video than this one, much more editing, much more cinematics. But I just wanted to get my initial thoughts out on this phone, explain to everybody what's going on. And with regards to this channel, I don't want to make a whole big video about it. But this channel is going back to tech content exclusively. That's just the way that it works. YouTube, they refuse to push the videos that aren't tech content. So I've moved all of the non-tech content content for the future over to a new channel. That's Scott Schroeder. That's my name. That's going to be a more personal channel with regards to what I'm doing, not regarding tech. And this channel will be about technology, the new releases, if I buy some used stuff, which I'm excited about doing again, and reviewing maybe some used MacBooks, maybe a MacBook Pro 2015. I know I made a few videos about that in the past. So that's what's going on with this channel. I know it's kind of weird. The profile picture remained the same on this, but it's just it's the original name that I originally had on this channel when I started almost 5 years ago. So I really appreciate everybody for sticking around. I have the new channel linked down below. I'll link it there for the next probably 10 videos just so everybody knows what's going on. But I want you to know that it's not going to be tech content, so don't subscribe if you're not really interested in anything that's not tech, because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you to subscribe to a channel that you're just not interested in. So thank you again for watching. I'm super duper excited about the prospect of this phone. I hope that the few little hiccups with regards to the battery life will be fine because I work from home, so I'm not too worried about that. I always buy a charger, and I'm very excited about this phone, if you can't tell. I just had to make a quick video about it, so make it a challenge. For the next week, the day this video comes out will be the second day that I've used this phone. So for the next week, challenge yourself to try and use your phone for less than an hour of actual screen on time. Obviously, don't count any apps like Apple Maps, but really try and focus on limiting social media or disabling all social media and limiting texting and just maybe trying phone calls. Thank you again for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. This is Scott with Techno Eclipse. It feels so good to say that again. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out.